Save my computer while we do this. Okay. Hello, everybody. It's Hezzy over here, as you can tell. I know I haven't done a video in a while, but I've been going through a lot of stuff, doing a lot of things, um, hanging out with friends and family. And tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Yay! Oh, well, at least for us in America. But, that changes nothing. See, there's been a lot of stuff going on. And generating a lot of fear, a lot of concern, a lot of questions, and amongst other things on YouTube, about YouTube. And the FTC, for those of you who do not know what that stands for Federal Trade Commission. Now, they help make a bunch of laws that protect us as consumers of everything and anything. Well, I've been watching a lot of different YouTubers go over some of the new FTC COPPA law. Now, it's very vague. There's a lot of vagueness to it where they don't explain the gray area. There's some silver lining, there's some flaws to it, there's some issues that a lot of people have been pointing out, and a lot of people don't completely understand, and most times it's because of how vague everything is, or everything is explained. So now I would show you these websites, but unfortunately my recording software does not work with window capture lately. I don't know why. Don't ask. I don't know. So, oh yeah, what time is it? Okay. So I'm gonna go over a few things. I'm looking at the websites right now, and on YouTube. Okay, so YouTube themselves had made a community post. I will bring that up as well. I'll probably bring it up on my laptop actually, which will explain things a little bit better. Still a bit vague, but some of the comments, one of the comments really struck me. I'm not going to say who commented it because privacy. I'm not going to, but it made me think a bit because there's about a lot of things, including law. Now, I'm very keen on making sure to follow the law. I'm very keen on why is this covered twice? Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it a bit. And if this, I did mark this video is not for children. I've marked my channel as not for kids because in my own standard opinion, my main target audience is people over the age of 13 and up. So if, again, and this is another thing, is that here's the post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover these things, and I'm going to go over a lot of the topics that even I'm concerned about. Like, there's so much to talk about, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by talking about what COPPA is. So COPPA is a law that the FTC created or got passed, and it's constantly changing. Every 10 years it changes. So, which is fine because technology is advancing. Well, it was pushed back to, or delayed to, 2023, but a lot of parents kept complaining and sending in, their opinions about it being postponed that far. And so now it's going to happen now it's going to be a thing starting January 1st, 2020. Now, again, I'm sure they're going to be refining this law over the next month or so. But to go over some things with you. Now, I've different YouTubers to talk about it differently. The last guy I watched showed this newer update that happened, actually, yes, a couple of days ago, sometime this week. And so there's a lot of different things going on with that. So I'm going to go over them little by little. So first, COPPA. COPPA is short for Children's Online Privacy Protection, or COPPA. Everything's acronymed nowadays. So now, for most people know what this is. So COPPA was put into place to protect kids online with everything. I honestly, nowadays, kids can lie about anything, so it's a lot harder to monitor this stuff. But let's see. Here. So here you go. General question. What is COPPA? So Congress and I'm not going to read this directly, but to summarize it, it's a federal protection act to protect children. It's to enforce the protection of children online. 1 second. Bullseye! Sorry about that. But so this act was enacted in 1998. Hi, I was born in 1998, so I was literally when I was born, this thing was enacted because, wow, children's privacy was not very well protected before that. Let's be honest. Now, it says here, the primary goal of COPPA is to place parents, let me clarify that. To place parents in control over. Parents, not content creators, not, okay, it's honestly, it's not my job to watch your kids. If you're not watching if you can't monitor or decide not to monitor what your child watches, if I get fined for it, that's on you. Sorry, I just had to point that out. Over what information is collected from their young children online. The rule was designed to protect children under the age of 13 while accounting for the dynamic nature of the internet. The rule applies to operators of commercial websites and online services, including mobile apps, directed to children under 13 that collect, use, or disclose personal information from children, and operators of general audience websites or online services with actual knowledge that they are collecting, using, or disclosing personal information from children under the age of 13. Now, that being said, YouTube, you fucked up. Why are we paying for it? You fucked up because you did that. Although, that's the thing though, like with the kids app, it's made for kids, literally made for kids under the age of 13. So the regular or like YouTube platform itself, not the kids YouTube app that you can get and download and put your stuff on. I mean, the actual platform itself. Why are you have all these algorithms and stuff? Why can't you figure something out that'll make it harder for kids to lie about their age? Kids lie about their age all the time. So we can't monitor that. Let's see. The rule also applies to websites online or online services that have actual knowledge that they are collecting personal information directly from users of another website or online service directed to children. So, this being said, I need to make this bigger. Hold on. This being said, my content is not made for children under the age of 13. If anything, I don't believe any child should be watching any type of content unless given permission. I think there should be some type of rating system. I think there should be. I mean, again, I've watched a couple of YouTubers, and like they do with the movies: PG, PG-13, rated R, M for mature, teen for teen, T for teens, E for everyone, kind of thing. Because at this point, everything is so vague that we're not told about the in between, the gray area that we can access. There seems to be no gray area. There seems to be no way of being able to do either or content, and and it's like, or can we do a mix of both? Now, again, this YouTuber that I watched, there's actually supposed to, this little option in YouTube when you go to the advanced settings, it's like, and you have to click yes, this is made for kids, or no, this is not made for kids. And then or you can do it by individual video, which I find it a bit of a pain in the ass to go through individually and mark videos, especially after uploading, especially for big YouTubers who have uploaded thousands and thousands of videos already, and this affects everyone, and not just the content creators themselves, but the viewers. I watch all kinds of YouTube, and like I'm 21, I'm an adult, and I still watch things that a kid would watch. I still are what would be considered child friendly. Again, we'll get to what's actually technically child friendly from what's not child friendly. So let's see. My computer's lagging, so you'll have to bear with me. Here you go. Who is covered by COPPA? Let's see. The rule applies to operators of commercial websites and online services, including mobile apps, directed to, okay, yeah, we went through it already. The rule also, that just repeats like the last sentence I said from up there. So anything that requires, basically, you're not allowed to collect data from children under the age of 13 without parent permission, basically. I'm just trying to read this. Yeah, see, a screen or username that functions as an online contact information, telephone number, social security number. I never, ever, never, ever used your social security number for anything. That's number one. First and last name, a home or other physical address. What is it? Geological information sufficient to identify. Oh, yes, it's like giving away your address. Without giving your address. Although I don't know how you would do that. Like I can tell you what state I live in. I live in the U.S. and I live in New Hampshire. I could live anywhere in New Hampshire. I could be way the fuck up north, or way the fuck down south New Hampshire. You don't know. So that one's a little meh. That's debatable. Depends on how much geological information you give. Like if I told you the city and state, then yeah, you could probably find me, but okay, so let's see. Information concerning the child or the parents of the child that the operator collects online from children. So what I'm also going to bring up over here, excuse me, it's not loud. You'll have to bear with me. My laptop and computer seem to have been running a bit slow today. There you go. Now, and this is where it gets interesting. Now, again, I say YouTube fucked up, and us content creators should not have to pay anything if that. We don't control who watches our videos, and the FTC need to know that. We can't control who watches our videos. Yes, we can set it to 18 plus or not for children, but we still don't control it. We have, other than that, we have no physical control over who watches our videos. Because again, kids can easily fake their age. They can say that they're over the age of 13, even if they're not. It is not that hard. So basically, this is okay. That's just the rest of. But you know what COPPA is? COPPA is here to protect children from people prying out it. Protect people from, or protect kids from to keep companies like YouTube and Google from collecting data from kids under the age of 13 without parent permission. So basically, if you're going to collect data from kids under the age of 13, you have to make sure that the parents know, the adults have to know. So here's what happened. here's what happened. Google and YouTube will pay a record $170 million for alleged violations of children of COPPA. So here's what happened. Google and YouTube, which are pretty much the same company. Let's see. Okay, here we go. The settlement requires Google and YouTube to pay $136 million to the FTC and $34 million to New York for alleged. I don't know why just New York. I really don't. I'm assuming that's where they got all their data from. Is New York, which would explain why New York gets the money. For allegedly violating COPPA. The $136 million penalty is by far the largest amount the FTC has ever obtained in a COPPA case since Congress enacted the law in 1998, which we read. Let's see. In a complaint filed against the company, the FTC and New York Attorney General alleged that YouTube violated the COPPA rule by collecting personal information in the form of persistent identifiers that are used to track users across the internet from viewers of child-directed channels without first notifying parents and getting their consent. There's where YouTube fucked up. Now, yes, YouTube fucked up, and they paid for it. But why do the people, the content creators, the YouTubers themselves have to pay for something that they have no control over? Can FTC answer me that? Can YouTube answer that question? YouTube, I'm calling you out. YouTube, can you answer that question for me? It's your algorithms, your bots that do this stuff. Why should the content creators have to pay if they mark something as child-friendly or not child-friendly, and you send a bot over and it goes, oh no, this is child-friendly? Why? Can you answer me? I'm not live, so I don't know. But can you answer me? That would be lovely. Especially for small YouTubers. I am small as shit. I don't even have 10 subscribers yet. Though if I do get 10, that would be nice. I think my old one had 11. So if I can get higher than 11, that'd be great. Anyway. Okay, so to continue. Where is it? The COPPA rule requires that child-directed websites and online services provide notice of their information practices and obtain parental consent prior to collecting personal information from children under 13, including the use of persistent identifiers to track users' internet browsing habits for targeted advertising. This is why when you get ads on YouTube or you're Google searching and those little ads pop up on the side of the screen there, it's because Google has an algorithm that goes, oh, well, they searched this. Here's an ad for that. It's annoying, Google. Stop it. I don't always want to see those damn ads. Just because I search something doesn't mean I want it that bad. Stop throwing ads down my throat. Thank you. Please and thank you. Let's see. In addition, third parties such as advertising networks are also subject to COPPA, which makes sense. Where they have actual knowledge they are collecting personal information directly from users of child-directed websites and online services. So basically, it's just fucked. relevant. I'm not going to make a big stink out of it. Again, I'm a smaller YouTuber. I can easily switch to another platform if I need to. Don't ask, it's probably one of the cats. But again, this is not all bad. It's not all bad. Okay? It's not all bad. Relax. Breathe. It's not all bad. Let's see. Okay, here we go. According to the complaint, eligible channel owners can choose to monetize their channel by allowing YouTube to serve behaviorally targeted advertisement, which generates revenue for both the channel owners and YouTube. Again, we don't control that. Yes, we can choose that. We have that option in our advanced settings. Anyway, but if kids are going on YouTube and they're lying about their age, that is not my problem. I don't control these kids. And I don't control their parents, unfortunately. But it's all YouTube algorithms. Yes, okay, so I want to be, if say I wanted to be monetized. I don't, but if I did, I would have to be extremely careful now. So, yes, we have targeted audiences. I'm sure every content creator does, but you gotta also remember that just because we market, now that you got this bot open in whatever, just because we say what we say doesn't seem to go anywhere. I could say my stuff isn't child friendly, and it's normally not. I'm wearing a freaking pink. I'm wearing pink. I'm wearing bright colors. My hair is freaking blue. Like, I'm not made for kids. I am not made for kids. Okay, this channel is never gonna be made for kids. I cuss, I swear, I rant about random crap that's going on in life, in the real world. Hell, I'm getting ads on YouTube for all this political crap that's going on. Look, YouTube, stop it. I haven't watched anything political yet. Stop it. Stop. I don't want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. No. No. Sorry, cat. I'm trying to keep her from going on the desk. You know, because God forbid I put something child friendly in here. Let's see, what else? What else is here? What else is here? Okay, in the complaint, the FTC and New York Attorney General alleged that YouTube claimed to be a general audience site. Some of YouTube's individual channels, such as those operated by toy companies, are child directed and therefore must comply with COPPA. I'm 21 and I have Funko Pops. Toys are not just for kids, and you know, you can't. Isn't that why YouTube created the kids app? Like, really, people. Even then, it's not our fault it looks kid friendly. We could cuss and curse and it'll still look kid friendly. Doesn't mean it is. let's see what the complaint notes that the defendants knew that the YouTube platform had numerous child-directed channels. YouTube marketed itself as a top destination for kids in presentations to the makers of popular children's products and brands. For example, Google and YouTube told Mattel, maker of Barbie and Monster High toys, that YouTube is today's leader in reaching children aged 6 to 11 against top TV channels, and told Hasbro, which, okay, before I continue the sentence, YouTube is not just for kids. Yes, there's kid-friendly stuff on here, but it's a guarantee these kids are lying. Some of these kids are lying about their age. And YouTube has created that kids app thing. I'll pull that up in a second. Hasbro, which makes My Little Pony and Play-Doh, among with other toys. We all know Hasbro. Or Hasbro. Sorry. That YouTube is the #1 website regularly visited by kids. Of course it is. It's YouTube. It's videos. I guarantee you there's at least 10 dozen parents that use YouTube to distract their kids. I mean, it's not great parenting. I'm sure they can go play outside in the dirt for a little bit, climb a tree, and get some scrapes and bruises. Hey, live a little. But the fact that YouTube said these things to toy companies that are dedicated and specifically targeting these children, again, not my problem. I don't see how it's my problem. I create content. If somebody under the age of 13 who's lied about their age watches it, that's not my fault. I don't see that stuff. I can't see who watches my videos. I can't physically go through my screen and be like, no, don't watch this. This is not for you. Okay, I can't do that. If I could, yeah, that'd probably save the whole lot of problems right now. But again, I can't. Okay, so let's look some things for a second. You have to be 13 to use YouTube. I know for damn sure I was watching YouTube before 13. Okay, before this whole kids app thing, before our current crisis with YouTube. And we all know the bots are fucky. We all know it. We all know there's something wrong with the YouTube algorithms and bots and whatever else they're using. We can't control that. YouTube does. Their algorithms control our content. We do not control it. We make the video. We put it up on YouTube. If their algorithms and bots can't detect that something is not child-friendly, that is not my fault. I don't see how it could be my fault. I didn't make the algorithm. I didn't create the program or whatever. Yeah, I'm not very techy, but I know these words. Yeah. Let's go down here. YouTube said this, and this was 2 weeks ago. In YouTube Studio, you'll see a new audience setting requiring you to indicate if your content is made for kids or not. This is part of the change we announced a few months ago in relation to COPPA from the FTC and other laws protecting kids online privacy. Cat, you need to go. Or not, okay? I don't know where you're going, Cat, okay. Okay. Former info, be sure to check our most recent video. Yeah, okay. We've seen a number of questions come in about these changes, so we're providing some being the keyword in that sentence, answers below. Question: why is YouTube doing this? Well, obviously, they don't want to be fined $170,000 again. These changes address concerns. Don't see the cat. There's no cat behind. Down. Thank you. No, thank you. If you see the curtain move, it's just a cat. Relax. Okay. I'm gonna need some water. And raised by the U.S. FTC regarding compliance with COPPA. COPPA? Why did I say COPPA? COPPA. If you're interested, yeah, okay. COPPA is a U.S. law. You can read more about it at ftc.gov. I'll put all the links are in the description below. Does making my video as not made for kids mean it's only suitable for adults? If you set your audience as not made for kids, this does not mean that it's only suitable for audiences 8+, nor does it mean we're going to age restrict your content. This audience setting was exclusively created to help you comply with COPPA. Okay. I get it. It's the law. We can't run from it. We can't hide from it. No matter where I go, I'm going to have to follow COPPA. But I know what COPPA is. And I know my limits. And I know that if I do create something, most of it's not going to be child friendly. If it is, I will mark it. I will say, hey, yeah, this is for kids. And here's why it's for kids. But none of my stuff on YouTube right now is for kids. No child should be watching this. They, under the age of 13, they do not understand these problems. Nor does it mean we're going, okay, yeah, age restrict your content. This audience setting was okay. And other children's privacy laws. Age restriction is a separate setting that might be enabled when a video doesn't violate our policies, but may have content that's only appropriate for the audiences that are 18+. For example, a video might be age restricted if it has excessive vulgar language or violence and disturbing imagery that provides enough context to understand. Thank you. There's some explanation there. Let's see. Yeah, isn't this what YouTube Kids is for? I'm glad somebody asked that question. YouTube.com has always been for people 13 and up, while the YouTube Kids app is for kids under 13 to watch independently. But we can't control how people and families use YouTube.com together. We're making these changes to ensure our data practices for all content made for kids are protecting kids' privacy. That doesn't mean shit. Again, a kid can lie about their age. I did it. My first Facebook account. Hello. No, it wasn't my first Facebook account. It's my MySpace account. I lied. When I made my first ever first Google or Gmail account. I'm not gonna lie, I lied about my age. I went through YouTube. I lied about my age for the very first time. Oh, that's stupid. Okay, everybody does it. Everybody does it. I'm sure there's people and, kids who don't lie about their age, but there are people who lie about their age. I'm 21. I ain't lying. I'm not lying. I'm 21. I may not look it. If I don't look it, then thanks. I don't know. Depending. I'm curious how old everybody thought I was, because I just told you I was 21. Okay. What if my content is applicable to a wide audience, but it is not made for kids specifically? Okay. We're gonna get into this in a bit. Should family vloggers mark their content as made for kids? Some family vloggers make content for kids while others target parents and adults. You can learn more about what content is made for kids. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's not it. This is the YouTube help page. Let's see. Determining your content. If your content is made for kids. Here you go. This is very vague. I'm also going to get to the FTC kind of help page focused on creators. So, this was updated this year on the 22nd of November. So, last Friday. Yes, I just looked at my calendar. Okay, regardless of your location, we require you to tell us whether or not your videos are made for kids. We are making these changes according to the agreement with the US FTC and to help you comply with the COPPA and or other applicable laws. Failure to set your content appropriately may result in consequences on YouTube or have legal consequences under COPPA and other laws. We provide some guidance on what is considered made for kids below, but we cannot provide legal advice. If you are unsure whether your videos meet this standard, we suggest you seek legal counsel. Basically, YouTube is not going to help us. They want us to get a lawyer. You know how expensive lawyers are? I don't have that kind of money. I don't even have the kind of money to be fined by COPPA. Or by the FTC. Sorry, not COPPA, that's the law. FTC is the people who will fine you. Yeah. That's all. Okay, so let's see. According to the FTC guidance on COPPA, a video is child-directed, which we call made for kids, if children are the primary audience based on the factors described below, which we will get to in a minute. Children are not the primary audience, but the video is still directed to children based on factors below. Okay. So when deciding whether or not your channel or video is made for kids, you should consider various factors, including, and we'll get to them in a moment. So basically, what I'm going to be reading off is a list of things that you got to think about when creating content now, which is, I think it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I'm cussing. I'm cursing. I ain't got no time I don't even edit my videos. So you get what you see. It's raw footage. Nothing's edited. Nothing's taken out or bleeped or whatever. If I'm a swear, I'm a fucking swear. Like, you can't just... and there are other content creators that you have to think about. Bigger ones, that swear a lot. But let's go through this list. So let's say subject matter of the video. Example, if it's educational, if it's an educational content for little kids, then okay, that's understandable. That makes sense. If I'm trying to educate educate kids through my video, then yes, this is that's kid friendly because it's made for kids. That's made for kids. Whether children are intended or actual audience for the video. Basically, if your target audience is children under the age of 13, then it's made for kids. Whether the video includes child actors or models. Basically, if there's kids in the video, it's made for kids. I'm going to try and explain these little by little. Whether the video includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children, including animated characters or cartoon figures. That would be like me putting, I don't know, this in the video. It's a Minecraft thing. It's a character. It's a stuffed animal. It's a toy. Again, this is not made for kids. This is informational for everybody. Not just, if I showed, actually not, if I was doing like an anime thing, or if I was doing, I don't know, say I did a movie review on the new Frozen movie. We'll say the new Frozen movie, which I will do. I will do one of those. I just gotta get into it. I get new. I think I might have to reinstall my recording software to do so though. Stuff like that. Okay, as long as there's like no gore behind it, then yeah, okay, fine. If I was like, again, if I had the trailer to Frozen 2 in the background and, I was just doing like a simple movie review, or I was watching, I don't know, The Last Airbender, the original cartoon, that is, then yeah, that's child friendly, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing other things. I'm ranting about real life problems that kids wouldn't understand or get. Let's see. Whether the language of the video is intended for children to understand. Again, that applies to the first one, which would be the subject matter of the video, because the language you use depends on what you're talking about. I mean, I would think it does. Like if I'm pissed off about something, I'm a cuss, curse, and swear. That's not made for kids. I mean, kids are gonna know about swear words and all that other stuff eventually, right? But I still don't believe that would be for kids. That's not for kids. Whether the video includes activities that appeal to children, such as play acting, simple songs, or games. Games are early education. Again, they bring in education. Games, you're gonna have to be a little more specific. If I'm playing Minecraft, okay, maybe. If I'm playing, let's see, what other games do I have that would be children? Wizard 101 is children oriented. Let's see, what other games do I have? Come on. Come on, computer. Really? Let's see. I got How to Train Your Dragon, School of Dragons. That might be more geared toward kids. Creativeverse, that's kind of like Minecraft, less, gore and stuff, a little more 3D. Roblox, I can understand Roblox being made for kids a bit. I guess it would depend on the game on Roblox that you're playing. Maple Story, maybe. Same with like Mabinogi. Let's see, what else might be kids oriented that's not so animated games I understand. Like the ones I've just mentioned I get. Yeah, those could be for kids. Wizard 101 is definitely for kids. I used to play that as a kid all the time. That's why I got it. Come on. And then, so that stuff I understand because it's animated and there's not as much like gore in them, and they're very bright and vibrant colors, and kids will be attracted to that. Yes, but you gotta understand there's a lot of games like that may be bright, colorful, but not so much for kids. There also may be cartoons and animations that are bright, colorful, but not so much for kids. There's plenty of examples of that. Just Google it. Let's see what else is on here. Whether the video includes song stories or poems for children. Okay, that's straight to the point, simple. Any other information you may have to help you determine your videos on like empirical evidence of the video's audience. I have a question. First, I'm not that great at word definitions, so I'll probably Google what empirical means later. How are we supposed to get evidence of who's watching our videos if it's YouTube that has that information and not us? Like, yeah, we can age restrict it and we can say, hey, this is not made for kids, but in the end, we can't tell who's actually watching our videos unless we do a poll, which I don't recommend, because then COPPA can use that against you. Let's see. Okay, so there's that. So let's see. Okay, here you go. How does your system / algorithm define content as made for kids? Our system is using the factors set forth by the FTC to identify made for kids content. For example, it's working to identify videos that focus on subject matter or content that is designed for kids, like those that have an emphasis on kids' characters, themes, toys, or games. More examples here, which is again YouTube help. So it's the same fucking thing. Okay. Do I have to mark my old videos as made for kids or not made for kids? Yes, you can bulk update all existing videos at once and set a default for future uploads using the channel level audience setting in YouTube Studio, where our here are detailed instructions I can read today. Select videos, edit audience, more details. Okay, well that helps me because then I can. Okay. So that's that. Oh, the comments, right. Let's do this. Exit. Exit. I wanted to read some of these comments. I'm not gonna get into detail, but one of these made a bit more sense. Okay, so before we got to the YouTube help section, now this is the FTC website. This specific article is for YouTube channel owners. So as content creators, there goes my voice. It says YouTube. The title of this YouTube channel owners is your content directed towards children. I'm not gonna. Okay. COPPA recap. Okay, here we go. So how does COPPA apply to channel owners who upload their content to YouTube or another third-party platform? COPPA applies in the same way it would if the channel owner had its own website or app. If the channel owner uploads content to a platform like YouTube, the channel might meet the definition of a website or online service covered by COPPA, depending on the nature of the content and the information collected. If the content is directed to children, and if the channel owner or someone on its behalf, for example, an ad network, collects personal information from viewers of that content. Of that content. For example, through a persistent identifier that tracks a user to serve interest-based ads, the channel is covered by COPPA. Once COPPA applies, the operator must provide notice, obtain verifiable parental consent, and meet COPPA's other requirements. For information on how to comply with COPPA, please visit FTC's COPPA page on our 6-step compliance plan for your business. So basically, if your content and the data that you track, that YouTube tracks, and any other website tracks, if the content and information is for kids, directed at kids, it's meant to be viewed by kids. If that is your target audience, you have to comply with COPPA. You have to follow COPPA. If it's not made for kids, I don't think it's a big of a deal. I mean, there are laws against that, yes, still, even as adults. Okay. So there's that. Again, the links should be in the description below when I finish this video. I'm going to put the links in the description, so by the time this is uploaded, the links will already be in the description, so you can look into all of this yourself too, if you're curious. Now, here's how channel owners can determine if their content is directed to children. Now, this is where it gets a little iffy. Under COPPA, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. This is why they're being so vague. As much as we don't like them being vague, this is why. So there is no one-size-fits-all answer about what makes a site directed to children, but we can offer some guidance. To be clear, your content isn't considered directed to children just because some children may see it. However, if your intended audience is kids under 13, you're covered by COPPA. You have to follow COPPA. So a lot of us should be okay. And have to honor the rules requirements. The rule sets out traditional factors the FTC will consider in determining whether your content is child-directed. The subject matter, visual content, the use of animated characters or children-oriented activities and incentives. Okay. The kids' kind of music or other audio content, age of models, the presence of child celebrities or celebrities who appeal to children, language or other characteristics of the site, whether advertising that promotes or appears on the site is directed to children, and finally, competent and reliable empirical evidence about the age of the audience. Some of those are straightforward. Obviously, the subject matter is definitely a factor when it comes to content, especially determining whether it's for children or not. Visual content, that one is sort of a gray area, again, because it may look children-oriented, but it may not actually be children-oriented. Music, again, okay, fine. Age of models, yes, that's understandable. The presence of child celebrities or celebrities who appeal to children. I hate to break it to you, but the amount of celebrities that appeal to children are some of the same celebrities that appeal to adults. And I'm not talking about child celebrities. I'm talking about like just regular celebrities, any ordinary celebrity. Appeal to an age range, and sometimes it just happens to be kids under the age of 13. So yeah, there's that. Language or the characteristics of the site, okay, that's understandable. Advertising, okay. Okay, here we go. The determination of whether content is child directed will be clearer in some contexts than in others, but we can share some general rules of thumb. So they're offering help, they're offering advice, they're offering these little general things that you can go through when thinking about whether your channel is oriented toward children or not. So first, unless you're affirmatively, unless you are 110% sure that your target audience is kids, there are many subject matter categories where you don't have to worry about COPPA. For example, if your videos are about about traditionally adult activities like employment, finances, politics, home ownership, home improvement, or travel, you're probably not covered unless your content is geared towards kids. The same would be true for videos aimed at high school or college students. On the other hand, if your content includes traditional children's pastimes or activities, it may be child-directed. So, play outside, water balloon fight. tag, frisbee, throwing a frisbee around, softball, t-ball, soccer, any type of art, finger painting, um, maybe you're going to the beach or family gatherings, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, and even here, for example, the FTC recently determined that an online dress-up game was child-directed. That's understandable. I played dress-up. I played dress-up as a kid. Wasn't very good at it. Second, just because your video has bright colors or animated characters does not mean you're automatically covered by COPPA. So they understand that not everything that's bright and colorful is not always made for kids. Sorry, I'm yawning. While many animated shows are directed to kids, the FTC recognizes there can be animated programming that appeals to everyone. Third, the complaint in the YouTube case offers some examples of channels the FTC considered to be directed to children. For example, many content creators explicitly stated in the About section of their YouTube channel that their intended audience was children under 13. Other channels made similar statements in communications with YouTube. In addition, many of the channels featured popular animated children's programs or showed kids playing with toys or participating in other child-oriented activities. Again, send them to YouTube Kids, okay? Where was I? Some of the channel owners also enabled settings that made their content appear when users searched for the names of popular toys or animated characters. Okay. Finally, if you applied the factors listed in the COPPA rule, and still wonder if your content is directed towards children, it might help to consider how others view your content and similar to yours. As your channel been reviewed on sites that evaluate content for kids? Is your channel or channels like yours mentioned in blogs for parents of young children or in media articles about child-directed content? No. I can answer all those questions with a single no. Have you surveyed your users, or is there other empirical evidence? No, because I don't control my audience. I mean, I can by age restricting it and stuff like that, but other than that, that's on YouTube. I'm sorry, but it's on YouTube. Okay, here you go. Possible penalties. Possible. Big word here. Possible. The rule allows for civil penalties of up to $42,530 per violation. That's per violation, not per video, not per whatever. It's per violation. So for every violation of COPPA, for every part of the COPPA rule that you violate will determine depending on the severity of the violation too, and if you're a repeat offender. So up to $42,530 per violation. Up to. So it can be way lower than that. They give you an example here. But the FTC considers a number of factors in determining the appropriate amount, including a company's financial condition and the impact a penalty could have on its ability to stay in business. While Google and YouTube paid $170 million in another COPPA case settled this year, the operator paid a total civil penalty of $35,000. Now, again, I don't have for almost $43,000 in my bank account. I don't even have $35,000. If I did, I'd be okay, perfectly okay with that. But I don't. Here's a question. Isn't the FTC taking another look at the COPPA rule? Yes, FTC is currently evaluating the rule. It is currently I can't speak today at all, apparently. The FTC is looking into it. They're looking at the COPPA rule, they're evaluating it, they are going over it, making sure it adjusts to, again, our more advanced technology stuff. All right. So yes, if you would like to comment, there's a link. I'll set the link up. If you would like to comment on the FTC, they're taking comments. Please don't be negative. Don't downgrade them. Don't belittle them. Okay, they are doing their best to protect our children, your children. If you're a parent watching this, they're doing their best to protect kids from privacy. I mean, yes, us as adults deserve some. We get that too, but kids are a lot easier targets for that stuff than we think. Okay, and that's that. Now, back to YouTube. So YouTube posted this. I'm gonna actually look at the date. 4 days ago from today. 4 days ago from today. And today is what, the 27th? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So they posted this on the 23rd. Okay, so again, it explains. Okay, so I'm just gonna read it because it's a little bit shorter than all this information. We've seen, like I said, this is YouTube. We've seen a lot of questions around what exactly is made for kids content and if your content is directed to children. Today, the FTC released more information to help YouTube creators decide if their content is made for kids or not. And again, link will be in the description below. Here are some important pieces we wanted to highlight. What if children watch your video, but it's not meant to target kids? According to the FTC, your content isn't considered directed to children just because some children may see it. Is animated content considered made for kids? According to the FTC, and I just read this, just because your video has bright colors or animated characters doesn't mean you're automatically covered by COPPA or that it's made for kids. While many animated shows are directed to kids, the FTC recognizes there can be animated programming that appeals to everyone. Thank you, FTC, for understanding that. Here are some tips from the FTC and might help to consider how others, I just read this. Be sure to read the full update on the FTC website, and then they give you the website. So they basically link it twice, and YouTube linked it twice in a single update. Now, a comment that caught my eye. I'm not going to say who said it. This person said, "This is my second comment. By the way, the FTC is not supposed to fine us of $42,000 because that goes against the 8th Amendment, right? I think." So basically it was a question. So I decided I was going to look. Now, the actual fine is $42,500. That $530. That is the max they can. That is the max. That is the max. Okay, they can't go any higher than that unless you make billions of dollars. So I went and I was like, let's look at the Bill of Rights. Seems how somebody brought up the 8th Amendment. Now, first, I'd like to say nobody can do anything about anything I'm saying, because that is my First Amendment right. Freedom of speech. So I went and I looked. Scroll. Thank you. The 8th Amendment. It's excess bail or fines, cruel and unusual punishment. So I was like, okay, let's look into this. Okay, so the 8th Amendment prohibits cruel and unusual punishments, but also mentions excessive fines and bail. So I was like, okay, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to go to the bathroom. Hold on. Pause for a second. Okay. So I am back from the bathroom. Let's do this. Close that out. Close down this. No. Alright, I don't need that. Go away. Go away. Thank you. Jesus. So I didn't want to click on it. I wanted to exit out of it. Damn computer. Thank you. Exit out of it, please. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Excessive fines from the 8th Amendment. Let's see. Okay. So basically, the 8th Amendment is excessive fines and excessive bail and cruel and unusual punishment. But normally, when we hear this, it's normally talking about like the death penalty or being in prison for the rest of your life or stuff like that. So, let's see. Here we go. In 1998, however, the court injected vitality into the strictures of the clause. The touchstone of the constitutional inquiry under the excessive fines clause is the principle of proportionality. The amount of the forfeiture must bear some relationship to the gravity of the offense that is designed to punish. So, again, the only time I I believe, and this is going towards the fine, that the FTC will actually fine you a large amount is if you're a repeat offender. Again, on the severity of the crime, of the violation in this case. So oh yeah, it says right here, the excessive fines clause was intended to limit only those fines directly imposed by and payable to the government. So, and the court has held, however, that the excessive fines clause can be applied in civil forfeiture cases. So there's no reason they would have to fine you almost $43,000 unless, again, you are a repeat offender. Basically, you've been repeatedly violating COPPA. It also depends on how much, what you actually have, what this fine will cause you. And they look into a lot of different things, so we can't just, say, oh, the FTC is, bad. No, they're not bad. They're the government, and it's the law that they're trying to enforce. And technically, YouTube started it. So if you want to blame anybody, blame YouTube. They're the ones who started it. Why they dropped it on us is beyond me. But as who was it? Some rep from the FTC said that we were fish in a barrel. Basically, YouTube is the barrel. And I kid you not, he said this. I watched it. You can check it out. I will put links. You can just search it on YouTube. YouTube is the barrel, we are the fish. And the FTC is gonna come after us. Makes no sense. To me, I don't know why you would call us fish in a barrel. We're people. Okay? We're not animals, we're people, just like you. Okay? The only difference is our paycheck and our job. But that is all I have for you guys today. I will put all the links in the description. They should be down there. And then I want y'all to hit that smack the like button, punch the subscribe thingy, and just ring that little bell for me. That'd be great. Thank you. If you would like more information, I suggest you look into other YouTubers who have done videos on this. I also suggest that you actually do your research before making judgment and making comments. Again, that's basically what I did. I watched different YouTubers talking about it. I went and I did my research. I went to the links. I went to the websites. I delved into it a bit. And again, I made sure that everything was accessible, except my window capture wasn't working. So that is all I have for you guys today. And so yes, hit that like button, punch the subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I don't know why I'm pointing in two different directions. I really don't. Bye.